welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hope you're all alright. I have decided tonight, seeing as I've got a marathon, an actual real life marathon race on Sunday, that I'm going to take it easy this week. So we are in Group C tonight for Wednesday workout. And I was hoping I was going to be able to run with somebody. But it seems like half of Group C have gone off quicker than the specified pace, and half of Group C, De Boer, Johansson, Thorpe, have gone off at the correct pace, and so I'm not really sure what to do. Hopefully I can stay with Johansson and De Boer. Ryan Downey says, hello, Stephen. And Jason Mitchell says, evening. Hello, guys. Hope you're well. I'm watching YouTube chat, watching Facebook chat, watching Twitch chat if you want to say hello. please do drop me a message in the chat box, and I'll try and keep an eye on it. Seeing as we're not going at all out full crazy pace today, I should be able to keep my eye on chat and have some conversation with you. But I'm also hoping I don't get kind of left on my own. The whole point of running with Group C or Group D is generally to kind of see some other people on course that I don't normally get the chance to run with, or we don't normally see on Zwift when we're doing these sessions, because I'm normally in Group A. The other thing to look out for today again is crashing. Wednesday workout is notorious for crashing, either during the warm-up or during the cool-down at the end. So fingers crossed we don't get any of that. See, I'm on my own. Well, I suppose De Boer and Johansson are not far behind, and my Stride foot pod is not far behind. So we've got an 8-kilometre run tonight, and we're doing intervals, and the intervals are 11 kilometres an hour for 600 metres, and then down to 10.3 for 400 metres. And we do that 4 times, and then we do one more a little bit quicker. Jason, are you running in Group C at the moment? I noticed that Jason has said hello to me on Messenger, but there's a Jay Mitchell in the run. I'm assuming that is Jason in Group C there. So we're gradually increasing the speed of the run as we go through the warm-up. I have already been out running today. Again, a slow one with my daughter and friends. So I've already done 6k today. So that is Jason Mitchell just up ahead. And we've got, I think is it Simon Whitlow? Maybe it isn't actually. I can't really remember. Sometimes I remember people's first names. And other times I don't. So just ahead of Jason is Greg Kretovic from the USA. And Neil Messenger is also in Group B. He's just up ahead. And then we've got DC from Canada in Group C as well. He's 21 seconds ahead. So although we've got all of Group C pretty much together in terms of the list on the right, we are all already quite spread out. Eric Liu says, pardon me if you've already addressed this question before, but I wondered why Zwift hasn't added more running levels. Well, I shall tell you for why. They are working on, and this is a long-term project with Zwift. You know how in cycling they have now what's called drops of sweat, and you earn drops of sweat by cycling, creating power. So you earn drops of sweat, and those drops of sweat can be used to purchase virtual goods in the store. Now, we haven't got that for running yet. And they're working on a whole new ecosystem, which may indeed also include the new UI, the new user interface, whereby we will eventually have the same as a cyclist. We'll have a drop shop where we can buy things that we earn through our drops of sweat. Let me just do this 100 metre stride. I think it's at about 12, is it? 11? What is it? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm still supposed to be at 8.6. So I went a bit early then. Okay, so here we go. 8.8. I think this is 11.7 we're going to now. 1 kilometre done, 7 to go, and 11.7 kilometres an hour. Let's go to 12 just for the sake of it. Okay, John Shaw in Group A says his workout has frozen, so he's had the crash. Sorry about that, John. Try and log in again quickly if you can. You get moving again. Hopefully you'll be able to late join. So, okay, so those people who are going to have the crash in the warm-up have already had it. John Shaw has frozen. And we wait to hear if anybody else has frozen and crashed, but luckily we haven't. Chris Nolan didn't realise why they're called drops. Yeah, drops of sweat, hard earned through hard work. So yeah, back to that. Zwift are working on that for running. And the reason that we haven't seen new levels yet is because when they release the new levels, I think, this is an educated guess by the way, so I have no firm evidence for this, but given that I am kind of half in the system, the things that you hear suggest that the reason that they haven't released new running levels yet is because they want to release new running levels along with this wider product of drops of sweat earned and a garage with stuff that you can buy. And then to do that as well, they need new partnerships with other running companies, you know, Adidas, Nike, people like that, so they can put Nike shoes or Hoka shoes or Adidas shoes or branded running vests that you can buy in the shop with your drops of sweat. So I hope that answers the question as to why we haven't yet seen new running levels. What's bound to happen now that I've said that is that next week we'll get a whole load of new running levels with no drop shop at all. There we are, that's the way it goes. I mean, to be honest, the next update I think will be in the fall, in the autumn, and it will be the new UI, and I'll have a lot of exciting things to look forward to, so keep your eyes open for that in the fall. Right, 11.7, so let's go to 12 again. Second stride. Right, Neil Messenger has also crashed. So Neil was in Group B. John Shaw was in Group A. So it doesn't matter what group you were in. It doesn't seem to matter what device you're using, PC, iPhone, iPad. The crash, for whatever reason, is related simply to the fact that you're in Wednesday workout. Or Monday. It also happens in Monday Run Club. And it is very regular. Neil and John Shaw if you don't mind, would you be able to get the log file of your crash? You know where you can find that? So if you go to your Zwift folder, if you're on a computer or if you're on an iPhone, you can tap in the top right of the login page, go to your Zwift folder, go to your activities folder and find the latest log file. And if you can you can email it to me, because I have a specific email address that I can't give out on the air, but if you send it to me, and I can send it on to the team that are looking into the problem. You can send it to support@zwift.com, but it won't get to the person, or it won't necessarily get to the person that's dealing with it specifically. So if you can do that, that'd be handy, thank you. Anyone else who's listening who's had that crash today, please send on your log files to me on Facebook Messenger if you like, or if you have my email address. My email address is on the Zwift Runners Facebook page in a recent post. So go and find that. It's a post about your running stories, community profiles. So my email address is on there. Send me your log files so I can send it on to the relevant people. Okay. So, crash is dealt with. It does seem like quite a few of us are still in the run though. Johansson was kicked out, he says, look. So a message at the bottom of the screen there, I was kicked out again. Brent Johansson. So he had to log in again. Thank you, Holly, for your message. GC was also kicked out. Right, let me just send a message. All right, I'm supposed to be at 11 now. I'm sorry, I'm concentrating too much on these log files. Okay, here we go. We're now at 11 kilometres an hour in Group C. And we do this 4 times now. So 600 metres at 11 kilometres an hour. And then 400 metres at 10.3. Buenaventura says, Steve, the optical treadmill sensor, is it measuring cadence or pace? It's measuring both cadence and pace, and it should also measure incline as well. So 3 things: speed or pace, and then cadence, and then incline. That's the Run Smart Treadmill sensor from North Pole Engineering. Thank you, Tina Beard, as well. Thank you for that. Right, how is stride number 2 doing? Okay, so stride number 2 crashed. Look, that's interesting, isn't it? So stride number 2 was at less than a kilometre in. Yeah, less than a kilometre in. And stride number 2 also suffered from the crash. And stride number 2 is on Apple TV. So I don't know what... don't know what everyone else was using, but there you go. So my stride on Apple TV also suffered in the crash. Carol Rushworth says, "Hi Trouble, why are you doing Group C?" Jonathan would have done it, but he thought you were in Group A. I was in Group A, and then I went out running this afternoon, and I thought I don't want to overstress myself because I do have a marathon to do on Sunday, an actual real life marathon race outdoors, not a training run, a proper run, organised Vanguard Way, the Vanguard Way Marathon. So I'm doing that on Sunday. So this week we're going to do an easy week, and I'm going to try and run a bit on Sunday. So if you are in, if you're in Croydon and you're near Lloyd Park in Croydon on Sunday, I think it's Sunday, it's not Saturday, is it? Yeah, so if you're in Lloyd Park in Croydon on Sunday morning, come and say hello, because I will be running the Vanguard Way Marathon from there on Sunday morning. Bixie Das, thank you very much for your ride on. So we're now in the recovery phase of the first set. So we're doing 600 metres, then 400 metres. We've got Ricardo just in front of me in Group D. Jason Mitchell is 15 seconds ahead. Also in Group C with me, Gary O'Brien is 3 minutes ahead in Group C. And then De Boer is behind me, or with me. And Pritchard from Wales. And Thorpe and DC, all with me, just a few seconds behind. Tina Beard, it might be a little bit of a journey from Somerset. Neil, thank you very much for sending the email. I'll have a look at that and I'll send it on to the person who's going to look into it for us. Right, camera angles are on, so hopefully I won't get lost and go off in a different direction. Paul Schroeder says, I missed an epic Paris race on Sunday. Who was it? What was the race, Paul? I had been hoping to do some commentary, but I didn't actually manage to get on again.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Ricardo, thank you for your ride on, buddy. Jonathan, I did reply. I was just saying that because I've got a marathon on Sunday, I want to have an easy week. So I've already been out running once today, so I didn't want to push it too hard this evening. So I thought I would drop down to Group C and take it easy and be able to chat to you guys if you want to ask me questions, or just, you know, the usual banter. Rather than a hard effort where I can't really talk very much. So we're doing Wednesday workout in Group C and enjoying ourselves now that I know we're not going to crash, because quite a few people have already had the crash, the dreaded Wednesday workout crash. Paul, tell me about this epic race on Sunday. I do hope you all enjoyed the ZRS Paris races. We certainly had a good race on Saturday. So I raced one race on Saturday, and then I commentated on another race on Saturday. Then I was out all day Sunday, so I didn't manage to get back on to commentate on any other races. Oh, nice job. So Paul Schroeder says his race, his ZRS Paris race, there were 118 finishers. Fantastic. And he had a real battle to finish in 12th place. Good job. Do you know what? Obviously, I wish I'd commentated on that now. But it's easy to say after the event. Rob Harrison says it's a recovery day for him. But watching this makes him wish he'd run. It's always the same, isn't it? You decide to have a rest day or an easy day. And afterwards you kind of think, oh, maybe I could have run. It would have been nice to do it, you know, even just a slower run. So rather than duck out completely today, that's what I've done. I've decided just to take it a bit easier and do a slightly slower run. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, Chris. So Chris reckons that because I've now said I won't crash, that I'm tempting the tech gremlins. Well, we'll see. I have a feeling, though, that it kind of happens for everybody at a particular point in the run. And after that, it's fine. But maybe I am tempting fate, who knows? We'll see what happens in the next 4.5 kilometres.
Right on!
Don't ask me about pot noodles. If you ask me about pot noodles, I shall start talking about the Sunday run that we still haven't got off the ground. Victoria's pot noodle run. Oh, actually, Victoria, I know what you're getting at, though. Jonathan, you can ask me about pot noodles. Yes, Jonathan, ask me about pot noodles. Okay. Jonathan says, Stephen, what's the latest on the pot noodle front? Let me tell you. So, we have some relatives staying with us at the moment, and they have introduced us to an app called Yuka. Y-U-K-A. I think it's that. Y-U-K-A. Is that right, Victoria? This app, you can use it to scan the barcode of any food that you're eating. I'm sure there are other similar apps. We have used one that scans for the amount of sugar in a particular product. Well, this app scans the barcode and it assesses the E numbers, additives, salt level, carbohydrates, sugar, everything that's in a product, and it gives it a score out of 100. So of course we've been scanning all our food products, and as you would, we've scanned the pot noodle, Bombay hot pot noodle, and you would have thought a ready meal of noodles, basically a ton of processed food, would have a score. So out of 100, what would you imagine the pot noodle would come out as? What score would you give the pot noodle in terms of a healthy, balanced diet meal? What would you give it? I'll just leave that there for a minute for you. Anyone can join in this game, by the way. So, out of 100, you might give a banana, say, 90. 95 even. Broccoli would come out 95, wouldn't it? Bacon would come out at like 20 or less. Yes, 100. 100 is the best you can get. 100 would be your perfect food. Tomatoes. Alex Dieter says pot noodle would get a score of 1 out of 100. If so, Jonathan says 40. Okay. Let me just get hold of my phone. Hang on. Actually, I can do this. I need to slow down though. I can't do it without. Yuka. Y-U-K-A. Rob. Neil Messenger says he can't get back into the run. So apologies for that. Yeah, it's very, very annoying, isn't it? Right, let me just run these last 180 metres and then I'll slow right down for the recovery. And let me see what I can do. Paul Schroeder would have said between 15 and 20 for a pot noodle. Okay. 100 metres to go and I'll slow down. I know you're all hanging on tenterhooks, aren't you? Right. 3, 2, 1. I'll slow right down to walking pace. Bear with me. Right, you're going to lose me for a second. .66 out of 100. It's classed as a good, healthy option. 66 out of 100. Carol says you won't get a star. I will, I bet you I do. Because I've only missed out one little section. I bet I still get my star. Jonathan says, this is quality learning. So now you know, if you go and buy a Bombay hot noodle, Bombay bad boy, hot pot noodle, you are eating essentially a healthy meal. Alex Dyson says he thought it was a trick question. It was not a trick question. Paul Schroeder says, wow, you cannot believe it, can you? So the question is, do you believe the quality of the app? That's the only other thing. But all the other items that we've scanned look like they're essentially correct, you know? So if you scan a packet of Skittles sweets, they score about 2. If you scan some wholemeal bread, it scores, I can't remember exactly, but 60 or 70. If you scan Fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, they score very highly. If you scan sweets, chocolate, things like that, they score very low. I'm assuming it does, Carol. So Carol says, does that include the sachet, the sauce sachet? I am assuming it does. I mean, we just scanned the barcode on the side of the pot, and the barcode, I assume that refers to all the ingredients in that pot, including the sachet of sauce. Martin Buchanan says he might eat them more often. Well, the evidence is now clear, Martin. A pot noodle a day keeps the doctor away. Now, I have to say, we have not scanned any other pot noodles, only the Bombay Bad Boy, which is the hot, spicy variety. So get your hands on those at your local co-op now. Tina Beard says she gets a migraine just looking at a pot noodle. Jason Mitchell suggests we need to submit a file to query the score of the pot noodle. Maybe you're right. Oh dear. So by all means, please do download the Yucca app to check all your food and see if it's up to scratch. Also, the other app that I need to recommend to you this week is Picture This. Many people think it's a paid-only app. It's not a paid-only app. When it comes up with the payment, you just click the cross at the top left, top right. You don't have to pay. Picture this. You can hold it up to any plant, any tree, any plant in your garden, any plant in the woods, any plant in the local park, and it will tell you exactly what plant it is. I love it. That's what you get when you get to my age, you see. You get excited by apps on your phone that tell you what a plant's name is. Right, we are now officially having fun. We are on the fourth of our 4 intervals, and then we have one more slightly faster after this one. We're just coming to the end of the faster section, 11 kilometres an hour, and then we'll bring it back down to 10.3 for the recovery, and that'll be our 4 done, and then we've got one more which is slightly quicker. Victoria says we need to get out more. I enjoyed lockdown. I enjoyed staying in the house and not having to go out. Buenaventura says his wife is using the Picture This app. Nice one. Chris Nolan says he's used the Picture This app. He heard about it and used it recently to identify a plant for my mother. Not my mother, his mother, I assume. So everyone's using the Picture This app. Just to be clear, you don't have to pay for it. It kind of looks like you have to pay for it, but you don't. You just click. It comes up immediately with the subscribe for $19 a month. Some ridiculous amount of money. But you just click top right and close that down, and you can still use the app for nothing. As far as I'm aware, I've used it loads and I haven't paid for it, so. Tina Beard says thank you for the varied entertainment this evening. My pleasure. See, that's what happens when I run relatively slowly. I'm able to talk, because obviously, guys, that I don't talk very much. I'm generally pretty quiet, aren't I? I just get on with my running. That's what I do, And so when I run a bit slower, I'm able to interact a bit more and we can have a bit more banter. Buenaventura says the lockdown changed my life. Oh no, lockdown was awesome. FMR changed my life. Film my run. That's me. Well, I've never heard of me changing anybody's life before, but there you go. Maybe my wife's life for the worse. My wife is a lot poorer since she met me. A lot poorer, a lot more stressed. But at least we have adventures. Oh, well, Carol says wait for your mobile bill. Well, maybe. Okay, Rob Harrison says, I've just scanned a selection of items from my fridge and they are all poor. Oh, Rob. Rob. Get yourself down the greengrocers, my friend. Get yourself some proper food. Right, here we go. What, 11.4 now? So this is the slightly faster last interval. So this is our last one. Carol, I want you to notice that I have my star for the 4x600 section, even though I welched on one of them. So we all know Rob has a terrible diet. So you'll be able to run faster, Rob, if you just improve your diet a bit, get some more sleep, and eat some more vegetables, and you're golden. I have to say, a lot of the foods that we scanned were pretty bad as well, to be honest. Cereals, I mean, we like to think we're eating grains and wholemeal pulses and all that kind of thing in our cereal, but essentially we're just eating a load of salt and sugar, aren't we? Carol says, well done for your star. I hear that through gritted teeth and massive sarcasm. Okay, so De Boer is 55 seconds ahead of me. Johansson is a minute behind me. I don't know who that was that I was running with just there. Maybe not in the workout itself. No, it doesn't look like they are in the workout. So the reason that, if you're new here, the reason that you can tell somebody's in a workout is they have that little screen in front of them. So you can see just below me, like is an orange floating screen. There you go, you can see it better there. And that tells everyone else that you are in a workout. You're following a set of instructions to tell you how fast to go for how long. And that could be how long in terms of distance or time. Carol says pot noodle is the future. Victoria says Weetabix are good. Weetabix were good. Yeah, when we scanned Weetabix, they came up well. So I'm thinking of a new section of the show called Stephen's Recommended Apps. Maybe I could once a week I could recommend some iPhone apps to you. It seems to have gone quite well today. Oh, it's Stanger behind me now. Stanger, what's for T Stanger? Is it Tony Stanger? Anyway, hello Stanger. And Paul Schroeder, we've had less than 18. We've had below 10 for some of the stuff we've scanned. And there's the really hard work done. So down to 10.6 for 400 metres recovery. Porridge scores 90 on the Yucca Index. We also tried to scan some non-food items, but they didn't work. So you definitely cannot eat toilet roll. You definitely cannot eat WD-40 motor lubricant. Not good for you. Buenaventura says the best film my run streaming was during lockdown. Why was the best streaming during lockdown then? What did we do during lockdown that was good? Right, I think I'm heading a different way to everyone else now for some reason. Can you? Not good for eating. Oh, apparently Victoria says you can scan non-food items. So apparently L'Oreal face cream works if you scan that. Yeah, but does it... So Victoria says it comes out rubbish, but does that mean L'Oreal face cream is not very good to eat? Okay, right, so she says it's to do with the additives inside the item and whether they're good for you or not, but surely it's good for you whether you ingest it or not. It's different if you put it on the outside of your skin, isn't it, as to whether you actually eat it. Apologies to everyone while I have a domestic with my wife live on air. Right, Carol Rushworth reckons that beef in gravy boil in the bag would be a low score. Jonathan Cost reckons I should run in Group C more often. Oh yeah, Buenaventura, the 100-mile challenge, that was pretty awesome. Yes, I really enjoyed that. We will do something similar again at some point. I was thinking about doing the elevation challenge, like climbing, up Everest. But I haven't got round to it. Jonathan agrees with me. It's got to be digestion related. Yeah. Jason Mitchell says, giving people connectivity in dark times. It's always good to bring people together, and yeah, I guess that streaming these runs and chatting to you guys makes us all feel a little bit more like a community, a little bit more like a family. It's nice. I love it, to be honest. Do you know what? I wouldn't come on here night after night, 6 days a week often now, if I didn't enjoy it. I like chatting to you. I like running on Zwift. I like getting outside as well, you know that, but this is fun. Okay, so we're now in the cool down section, gradually slowing the speed down. We'll be done in 6 minutes time. 700 meters to go. Yeah, that last 10 miles, when we did the 100-mile challenge, that last 10 miles was awesome, wasn't it? Climbing the hill and then racing down the other side. Even though I was flat, even though we were all flat on our treadmills, it felt like we were going downhill. And yeah, it was amazing to get to the finish like that.
Right on!
Rob Harrison, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah. And getting the buckle at the end that my children had made for me was nice too. And then of course I did 100 miles outside about 3 weeks later as well, so that was great. I really enjoyed that. That's a good view. A good view of the track behind. Hang on. Look, a good view of the track behind me, climbing up the hill. Nice. Right, so final call if you were running tonight and you suffered from the crash, the dreaded Wednesday workout crash. If you do have a log file, if you can get hold of the log file from your run tonight and email it to me, I will get it to the person who is dealing with the problem. because we have a specific person now who is going to look into it. So rather than send your log files to support@zwift.com, send them to me. You can get in touch with me on Messenger on Facebook, or my email address is actually on one of the recent posts on the Zwift Runners Facebook page. So get that and get the log file over to me, and I will try and investigate, because we can't keep having this happen every Wednesday. You know, quite a few people get kicked out of the run early on in the warm-up or at the end in the cool-down, which is not great, really. Neil, thank you, buddy. I'm really sorry that you got kicked out, and John Shaw got kicked out, and quite a few other people messaged on the in-game app as well to say they'd been kicked out. And my Stride foot pod running on Apple TV, that got kicked out as well. So I was lucky this time. Carol, thank you. Yes, send it over to me. So Thursday tomorrow, more than likely we will do. Has Ryan Downey got a run on Thursdays? We'll probably do something with Ryan Downey tomorrow. And Jonathan Cost has a bike session. Take care, buddy. See you later. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the chat. And Neil Messenger doesn't mind because he's had a rest tonight, and you can't beat a rest sometimes. 100 metres to go, and then we are done. There is the finish arch for Wednesday workout. We are going to get to the end this week. We're going to make it to the end. And it was nice being in Group C, although I didn't really run with anybody because the group spread out pretty quickly. It was nice to join a slower group and have a bit more of a relaxed run, and great chatting to you guys. Rob Harrison is telling Jonathan Cost off. He says he's too keen to get on the bike and needs to migrate back to running. Well, do you know what though? Honestly, it's really good to have a mix. Poor old Jonathan and Carol were without a treadmill for so long. I think they felt they had to get into cycling, really. So fair enough to them. Right, where are we? There we go. Okay, we are done, guys. That was good fun. Thank you for joining me. Maybe I'll just hang on a second. Let's just walk it out. Where are we? 8 kilometres. Jonathan says they are getting back into it slowly. Yeah, that is often a problem. When you come back, you basically try and kind of get back to where you were too quickly, and it can lead to more injury. It can lead to injury, or it can lead to fatigue and burnout. So just come back slowly.
Ride on.
It's on your page. Thanks for the ride on. Carol Rushworth, when you speak to Zwift, can you ask them to give runners a treat when we run up the Alp? Yes, well, and also Ven Top as well, which I ran up the other day. They are long old climbs, aren't they? The only problem, Carol, is there's no way of knowing that a runner, well, I suppose there is, but without manually checking there's no way really to know that a runner has done it with incline, and that's the achievement really, is to do it with full incline, or at least, you know, to achieve the incline, the maximum height level that the Alp is at, or that Von Top is at. So how they would know, because plenty of people just run up the Alp with no incline at all, and that's not really any achievement. So they would need to be able to work out that you had incline on your treadmill, and as yet they can't really do that without going through everybody's manually and seeing that, you know, that they've recorded incline. And even so, of course, some people might use the Runcline app and put in the incline on the app, but not actually put it in on their treadmill in real life. So Victoria, a massage gun is like the buff that we've got. We've got something similar to a massage gun. It looks like a big round polishing buff, and you put it on your leg, and it kind of whizzes round really quickly and kind of digs into your leg as you push it in, and that's similar to a massage gun. Okay, I've hit my daily target. There we go. Thanks for the ride on, whoever that was. Oh, Ryan Downey. Ryan, now I don't know if Ryan is actually watching or not. Ryan, are you doing something tomorrow? What can we do tomorrow? He's probably not watching. He's probably just got it on his Zwift companion app, hasn't he? Right, that is it. I'm done. I'm going to have a nice long bath or a shower or something, and some more food. And that's been fun tonight. I've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for all your comments, questions, and banter. And we'll see you tomorrow for something around the same time. Another Zwift Run, another crazy evening of light entertainment from the Film My Run Facebook page and the Zwift Run live channel. Take care. See you again. Bye bye.